As he smiled, you saw something move inside the soup. It looked at you as if it were afraid. It took you a second, but you recognized the color of it. Ryan's eye. Well, hey all of you cool creatures. I kinda said that kinda stiffly, huh? Anyways, we are continuing Perfect Love. We have done one route and all of the sub-routes with it. And now we are going to go to the batting cages and see what happens when Milo is allowed to kind of give in to his rage. Anyways, content warnings before I get started. Content warnings include bullying, blood, violence, toxic relationship, oh yes, blackmail, stalking, manipulation, drugs, drugging, cruel main character yandere behavior, high-pitched or loud droning sounds, cannibalism, harassment, brief mentions of alcohol, possessiveness, very brief sexual mention or implication, murder, brief mention of suicide, branding, amputation, eye trauma, emotional manipulation, possible motion sickness. And fast-moving images. Obviously, with the sounds or fast-moving images, I will try to provide a warning on the screen. So without further ado, I guess let's get into it. Then let's head to the... Well, this time around, we are going to the batting cages, so let's go! Loud. For me. I'm in the mood to swing a bat. Poor Milo. I literally cannot get over how awful this is to turn this poor boy into... I say boy, he is a grown-up, but anyways. I'm not really the aggressive or athletic type. That's no problem. You have some anger to release, don't you? We'll have some fun, then, shall we? Holding out your hand, Milo takes it, and you walk together towards the batting ring. My personal room, please. Pulling Milo, we head to an empty room filled with bats and a dummy. So we're just, you know, straight up teaching him to be violent towards others right off the bat, huh? I thought we were going to swing a bat? Oh, we are. Just perhaps not in the way you were thinking. You pick up the bat and... By the way, I love these CGs where we get a chance to see Eris. They're scary. Whoa! It cracks as the dummy flies backwards and bounces back. Milo flinches at the loud sound. Poor Milo. Here you go. Your turn. He seems reluctant to take it. I don't think I can. I'm against violence. My pet. It's not against a real person, only a dummy. You place the bat into his hands. There's nothing wrong with letting out your anger like this. You lean in closer to him. Aren't you angry at those bullies? How they always use you. How they laugh behind your back, even though you've done nothing wrong. You didn't deserve it. You never did. All you wanted was a peaceful life. That's how I felt. Is it not the same for you? Just let out your rage. He clenches his fist around the bat. You grin as he steps towards the dummy. Taking a step back, he clubs the dummy hard. And then again. And again. Why do you always kick me? What have I done wrong? You think you know everything. Just die already. Almost in tears, Milo strikes the dummy over and over again. The rage in his eyes is so tantalizing. You're thrilled beyond belief. Finally, after bludgeoning the dummy, he steps back, having to catch his breath. And one more strike. The bat shatters. He screams out, dropping the remains of the bat and clutching his hand. Milo, are you all right? Oh, sorry. I went overboard. What are you sorry about? It's the most alive that I've seen you. From your bag, you pull out some bandages. Give me your hand. He holds out his hand, blood-stained as you tend to the wound. I didn't think I had so much rage inside of me. It was scary, but it felt good. He looks up at me, grinning shyly. Yeah, it felt really good. He looks down as if scared. I didn't scare you, did I? If I did, I promise I won't. My pet, there's no way I could be scared of you that easily. If anything, it made me happy you were finally letting your anger out. This world can be cruel. You wrap his hands round and round. I wonder if there will come a day where you or I would get attacked. What? Why would you think that? It's only natural. This world is filled with violence. One day you might have to strike back. But solving violence with violence, it's wrong, right? Not always. Don't think of it as violence. Think of it as self-defense. Protection against others. Protecting the people you love. You trust me, right? Yeah? Then, please protect me if the situation arises. I will. I promise. And so the bats continued swinging. From then on, the batting area became our place together. For dates, to let off steam, all sorts of things. And slowly, you taught him. Step back a bit when you hit. It's not good to get too close. It's not fair for someone as kind and as strong as you to be hurt like this. Striking someone in the knees is a good way to disable someone. My pet, you deserve the world, but they don't deserve you. The chin and nose as well. Everyone feels like they are against us. I can only trust you, and I'm the only one you can trust. The ways to hit, the ways to act. It was fun at first, but it's important to keep each date entertaining. Destroying cars at an abandoned lot. Breaking glass jars, plates, and other pieces in a ramshackled house. Self-defense classes to fight, protect, hurt. Whatever it would take to train him, whatever it would take to watch him grow stronger. Ensnaring him to only cling on to you. To save only you. Nobody else in this world. Just as it should be. For a while, it seemed that days were peaceful. Milo grew more confident as a person, more brash in some senses. I like your collar, dude. His attire changed as well. More rough and ruthless. Yet, despite this, his personality was still meek, timid. It seemed more work still needed to be done. The bullies slowly strayed away from him, not sure what to make of this development. And as they did, he stayed close to you, clinging. No one came near him, as it was meant to be. Because to him, you were his savior. And yet, it wasn't enough. Oh, it's never enough for us. You've gotten stronger, my pet. those bullies have to think twice before coming near you. You've really changed, haven't you, Milo? He's so cute. And is it that bad? I mean, I like it a lot better now. I think it's an improvement. Are you happy that you've been remade this way? I feel like I'm a new person since I met you. Does he have a little fang? He does! Oh my god, he is so cute. It's a good feeling. I even got this new baseball bat to celebrate. That's... Ooh! What? Whoa. Hold on. That's gr- You briefly hear something being thrown before the wind is knocked out of you. You can barely push yourself up as you sputter blood and saliva onto the ground. You feel yourself being pulled out by the hair as you see Milo frozen in fear. Surrounding him are a bunch of gang members, holding pipes, bats, and other weapons. Hi, they're cute. Well. Looks like Ryan was right this time. Oh, it all comes back to Ryan, even though it's our fault he is the way he is now. Scars traced on her face, and she looks you in the eyes. That brat really paid us money to smack you around, huh? Ryan, the one who's been bullying me all this time? Oh, is that what this is all about? He must have been butthurt that you're no longer a punching bag for him, huh? I guess that's why we got to take it out on this guy, huh? What? He's trembling a bit and his eyes are darting around anxiously. Don't hurt him. It's me you want, right? My pet. Don't hurt my pet. So, who thinks Eris is technically behind this too, to make Milo even more violent? I do. Your vision is blurred and his voice is echoing in your ears. And yet, you smile. Remember what I said. This world is filled with violence. You promised to protect me, right? Are you really going back on that? Oh, looks like your pet has some spunk. Well, the next sound was a broken scream as a bat cracked into her rib cage. From then, there was nothing but a massacre. The cracks of bone as the bat shattered them. The screams of begging as he took another victim. The sounds of splattered blood on the pavement below. Milo kept on bashing them over and over again. They tried to restrain him, keep him down, hit him, but he never flinched. The only thing he could think of was how to protect you. And soon, the gang member grabbing you was the last one standing. The scarred gang member flinched slightly, not expecting this meek man would put up such a fight. You smiled as you watched her quiver a bit, as Milo walked closer to her, hobbling a bit from side to side, dragging his now red bat across the floor, his eyes focused on only her. She dropped you and ran, and you looked up at Milo, covered in red. His eyes weren't one of a human anymore. Milo. Milo, my pet. Come on, let's go. You dragged him away from the scene as best as you could. You could feel him shaking a bit. Finally, he spoke. Sorry. I'm sorry. You protected me, my pet. Why are you apologizing? It's Ryan's fault, anyways. Didn't you hear what she said? That Ryan was the one who tried to attack me? All because I tried to help you? Ryan? You're right. Whoa, that is a creepy drawing. It's his fault. From then on, the attacks became more frequent. Whenever you were outside, they would jump you from behind. Milo would always protect you as best as he could. He became paranoid, clinging on to you more desperately to protect you. Unsurprisingly, it seemed that Ryan had disappeared at the moment, as if he knew Milo would come after him. What a coward. You smirked. It was fitting of him. It seems that there's no one we can trust. The fact that anyone can attack me at any moment. We can only trust each other. Of course, I won't let them hurt you. I won't let anyone hurt you. Once again, you were surrounded by the bodies of gang members sent to harass you. Though you would never let him kill them, you could always tell that Milo could barely hold back. It's unfortunate that the police couldn't help us. In the end, the only one I can trust is you. I will protect you until the end. I know you will, my pet. He smiles as if he were looking at the only thing that mattered. but the barrage of attackers seems to have lessened. I think Ryan is starting to realize that brute force isn't going to cut it. But you'll have to come out eventually. In our class, he and I are assigned to a project together. I'm going to kill that bastard after what he's done to you. You walk to him, stroking his cheek and calming him down. There, my pet. In due time. Whoop. When this does this, is it a glitch or is he like mumbling? You're my everything, so I can't. I can't. I can't lose you. You smile silently as you feel his eyes gaze upon you. It's working. You pat around your pocket suddenly. It seems you've dropped it. Hearing his whimpering like that makes me think there's a dog outside my window. I'm like, no, it wouldn't be that loud if there was. Crouching down, you start to rummage under the bodies of the fallen. What are you doing? What if they wake up and grab you? Then you'll be there to beat them down again, right? There it is. You pull out a bundle of bandages from under the bodies. It looked like you're injured, so I'll have to patch you up again. You could have just bought them from the store. You could say I'm a bit sentimental. These ones are special. It's the same roll that I first patched you up with. What? You kept that? He seems flustered as you bandage his arms once again. Of course, it was the first date we ever had. After finishing, you pulled at his arm. Walk me home, all right? And so he walked you back to your dorm, safe and sound. God, that kid was rough. I thought we were going against a college student. Is everyone all right? Did you get the cash? Yeah, that guy slipped it under when he picked up the bandages. I knew it! I knew it! I mean, obviously, but still. That guy is a real freak. Who hires people to attack them? Must have something to do with that Ryan kid. Do you think it's some sort of revenge scheme? I don't know. It seemed like more than that. That guy. I feel bad for that Milo kid. He has no idea what's in store for him. He does not know, but you know what? This ends up becoming a case of two people becoming monsters for each other. So, well, our character is arguably a monster from the beginning, but still. For a while, it seemed as if everything had died down. The attacks basically became non-existent, though we couldn't let our guard down. Milo was especially restless, glaring at anyone who even so happened to glance at you. He watched over you like a guard dog, staying by you as much as he could. No one would come near us like that. It was comforting in a way. And so, days went on as normal. Schoolwork, fun activities, some dates. Well, at least until one of the big projects for your class. It seems Ryan has appeared again, and he's my partner for the big project. Milo slams his fist into the wall next to him, denting it. The people around snap quiet in fear before slowly resuming their talk. Don't get too excited, my pet. I should find a way to rip his tongue out of his mouth. I'm sure I could find a way to bash in his head without anyone noticing. Oh, that would be quite the treat to watch. If he cries out, it's even more fun. He smiles widely, cracking his knuckles, but not yet. As much as I'd love to destroy him in that way, my pet, I would like to actually pass this class, and this project is a huge part of my grade. So let's hold off of it for now, all right? Milo growls a bit, but remains silent afterwards. What was that? Fine, but the second you guys are done... He tightens his bandages. So long as you don't draw any attention, you can do as you please. We're supposed to be meeting up in Cafe 15 to talk about what we're going to do. And I'd like you to come with, just in case. Well, who knows if he'll pull something. Milo scowls a bit, clearly wanting to punch a hole in his face. As if I would have let you go alone. You're mine. And I won't let anyone touch you. The response sends shivers down your spine. You've trained him a little too well. As we walked in, we see Ryan sitting at one of the booths. His face twists from contempt to annoyance when he sees that Milo has entered with you. Strange. He's not in our group, is he? Milo and I are a package deal. Or are you jealous that you've suddenly become the third wheel? Ryan looks as if he wants to lunge at you, but Milo leans forward. He wraps his arms around you, as if to warn him. Touch a single hair on his head, and I'll snap your neck. Ryan hesitates and leans back down. Whatever, let's just hurry up and get this project finished. For the next couple of hours, you and Ryan planned out your project. The two of you ordered some food and drinks, seemingly chatting nonchalantly about what to do. But underneath it all, it felt like you were pointing knives at each other's throats. Well, living under threat of violence was something to be angry about. Milo would watch silently as we talked with each other. His arms crossed, leaning back, glaring at Ryan. Like he would slam his head into the table at any moment. Scribbling down Ryan's ramblings, your spoon slipped and fell onto the ground. I got it. Milo leans down under the table to grab it, not before bumping his head against it a bit. He gently places the spoon into your hand before glaring at Ryan. What are you looking at? Ugh, this lovey-dovey crap makes me want to barf. His hand taps on the table a bit before looking at his phone. His eyes dart around for a second before standing. Well, I got a jet. See you losers later. Grabbing his backpack, he leaves the two of you alone. Finally. You chug down the glass of water after he leaves and slam it down on the table. Somehow it tastes bitter. Like your disgust for him. Oh, he still drugs us in this route. He didn't even pay his portion of the bill. That lowlife. Don't worry. I'll make him pay. Though I might break some bones along the way. Forget it then. I need him alive so he doesn't make me do all the work. That's disappointing. Sighing, you fork over the money and you and Milo head back. Let's walk back to the dorms. I have to get some stuff before the next class. Milo nods and holds you as you walk. But as you walk, something doesn't feel right. You start to falter, your legs feeling weak and... My pet? Everything goes dark. You wake up, staring at the ceiling of your dorm, laying on the bed. Milo seems to have been by your side, holding and stroking your hand gently. Please, please, my pet. You can feel his warm hand shaking as you place your other hand on him. His eyes snapped open, and he happily holds your hand to his face. Thank God! Thank God! Despite how gruff he acts normally, he is always soft for you. Ah, my pet. What happened? You passed out suddenly after we left the cafe. Ah, did I now? You recall Ryan tapping his fingers against the table, His eyes were darting at the glass. Oh, I see what happened. That snake really has it out for me, huh? What did he do? He clutches onto your hand tighter, almost crushing it before loosening. Sorry, Don't worry, you'll be able to use that anger soon. It seems that Ryan must have drugged me. Must have been the water. Dropping my spoon was the perfect opportunity for him to do so. How oddly clever for him. Yes, how odd. First he sends gang members after us. Now he drugs you. He punches the bed and you can feel it creak in agony. Disgusting. He really doesn't know how to leave it alone, huh? Well, he should be given a taste of his own medicine. You tap your forehead as you think, what would make Ryan suffer more? Drugging him back would be ample payback. You do have access to the chemistry lab. Watching Ryan shudder as his body collapses on himself as he did to you would be entertaining. Or maybe he might have other secrets he's hiding. He might see it coming if you attempt to drug him back. Stalking him would be less obvious, and it would send him a proper warning as to not mess with you. Choices, choices. Milo looks at you eagerly as you make your decision. The best way to get payback. Well, you know what? I think we'll do the same that we did on the manipulation route, which would be stalk him first. He would catch us too easily. Stalking is the way to go. Stalking him? I understand. Like finding the best time to ambush. That's right, my pet. Stalking has so many different applications. How useful. Won't it be fun to have a stakeout together? Together? He fidgets with his hands in nervous happiness. How cute. Even with his more violent nature, he still maintained his romantic side. You walk around your dorm trying to look for what you might need for this endeavor. You think carefully about what you would need to stalk Ryan. Cameras, darker clothing. Well, we used to date, so I know his schedules. It should be easy. I see him tense up at this new information. What? A mix of fear and jealousy cloud his eyes. What a cute reaction. My pet, are you jealous? Afraid he might take me away from you? I would never let you escape me. You're mine, you know. It's just a jest, my pet, as if I would ever go back to him. We were just toying with each other anyways. Him more than me. It was all lies anyways, just something to kill the time. But it was obvious that Milo wouldn't let this go so easily. Why don't we focus on watching over Ryan first? Or would you rather stalk me instead? You said it as if it were a joke, but you watched as Milo's eyes widened. Cute. But we'd have to be a bit more hidden, so I got these. You pulled out some matching hats that you had gotten. I think you would look good in them. This is... Do you not like my gift, Milo? He hugged it close to his chest, almost in a childish manner. No, this is mine now. Aw, how cute! He fidgets awkwardly, seeming a bit flustered that he had been complimented. From wolf to puppy, it was very like him. He put it on afterwards. How does it look? How handsome. We are so manipulative. I mean, he is handsome, but still. He's looking away, not sure what to say. Well then, let's get to work. It's the least he deserves for what he's pulled. For a while, we followed Ryan around, secretly and with gentle steps. Enough that he would never know it was us. But obvious enough to know that someone was watching him. At first, it wasn't anything. Harmless, in fact. We watched him, but never did anything. But Milo got impatient. At first, it was just acts of violence. Breaking his windows, trashing his dorm. A little bit out of control, you thought. Next was the letters, sending him threat after threat, cutting out words and letters, promising to tear off his head and legs. Pictures of his friends, promising to gut them alive. You had almost felt bad for him, the way that Milo tore into him. At some point, he couldn't leave his dorm room for a bit, afraid that someone out there would kill him if he had stepped out. You could tell Milo was amused at this. Whatever sense of guilt he had was gone. After all, to him, Ryan deserved this more than anything. He had to try to hurt you, and it was a threat to his everything. It was enough to almost make you laugh. It became harder to meet Ryan in person, to work on your project. Is something wrong, Ryan? I haven't been seeing you in class. We are so awful. At least it doesn't seem like you've been slacking on our project. This is too much. It's Milo, isn't it? Please tell him to stop. I know what I did was wrong, but I don't want to live like this anymore. All these threats, he's breaking into my dorm. I'm not sure he would even listen to me anymore. He seems hell-bent on getting revenge. But this is what you wanted, right? Please just make it stop. You ponder a bit, contemplating on shortening Ryan's suffering. Milo's been too rough lately. As much as I'd hate to admit it, I do need you to finish this project with me. So I'll convince him. You have my word. You can see his shaking stop, the relief in his eyes bringing back life. Really? Of course. Let's do well in this project together. It wasn't just Ryan that Milo watched. You had noticed that he could never tear his eyes off of you either. It had almost scared you the first time you saw him standing outside your dorm in the middle of the night. His eyes never wavering, watching, observing. At some point, he had disappeared and started to come inside of your dorm at night. It was almost clumsy the way he tried to get into your dorm. You could hear him walk into your house, the footsteps soft but noticeable. He had even knocked over something, like an awkward puppy. Every night he came in and watched you sleep. He held your hand sometimes, even climbed in bed to sleep next to you. Sometimes he would simply chant your name like a mantra. Cryptic, 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 cryptic. Wow. Going overboard, boy. An obsessive dog worshipping his master as he slept. Some nights he would simply sit there, watching you, his eyes hungry as if he wanted to eat you alive. Soon after, you noticed that some of your clothes would go missing for days on end, only for them to be returned to you a couple days later. But there were some that you would never get back. How strange. I can't seem to find one of my sweaters. It's too bad, too. I had that one for a long time. Milo would tense up a bit every time you would mention something missing. It might just be lost forever. Sometimes it gets eaten in the laundry machine or something, right? A sweater eaten by the laundry machine. How silly! But it made you happy that his mind was so enraptured by you. You were certain he was about to become your perfect love. It took a while to convince Milo to cease his actions. Even when he promised to do so, you would see him go behind your back to continue. I see, Milo. You do want me to fail then. You want me to move schools so that we're forced to separate. Is that what you're telling me? Do you think you could leave so easily? I'd simply break your legs and keep you somewhere where no one could find you. Ha! How romantic! Couldn't you just hold on just a bit longer, my pet? Then after, you lean towards his ear. You can cut my Achilles tendon and take me as you want. The idea left him breathless. He was smiling. Just keep him alive for me, all right? Just enough to finish this project. All right, I'll do it. I can't wait until you're completely mine. There's no going back now. And so with that, Ryan was safe for now. And you were his well-guarded treasure. Milo stopped his threats for now, but his frequency of breaking in would increase, always contemplating if he should take you right now. As you slept peacefully, he always held your hand near his face. Sometimes you wondered if he was contemplating chopping it off, keeping it for himself. Not that you minded that. So desperate for your touch, to drink up every second of being with you. Haha, you wanted more. More. And so, for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. And so, he continued to come into your house, trying silently to watch as you slept. Yet, you could hear his breathing. He watched over you night after night. You could tell he really wanted to take you somewhere far away, to perhaps a basement or an attic, somewhere where you could never be found. But he was too indecisive to do so. Despite what he had changed into, he was still your dog. He needed to be trained on what to do. Just one final push. He was walking with you across campus as usual, looking around, fidgeting a bit. Is there something on your mind, Milo? Milo stops for a moment and hesitates. You've really changed me for the better. Oh no, we haven't. Before, I was such a weakling, pushed around constantly. But now, no one will dare to do such a thing. He holds your hand tenderly, and now I'm happier than ever. It's all thanks to you. He leans his head against your shoulder. I could watch you forever. We're going to be together forever, right? You breathed out slowly as you heard his words. Ah, poor, simple Milo. His fate was sealed for good. Just one more push. I wish that were true, Milo, that we could be together until our graves. But let's be honest here, my pet. Do you really think that will happen? Do you really think I would never break up with you, Milo? No, no! I won't let you. You're mine, my one and only boyfriend. After all those times I protected you, after all I've done, you're just going to throw me away like trash? Like junk? You and I promised we would be together. If it's not with you, I would rather kill you myself. I should have just taken you while you were sleeping. Broken your legs and arms. Make it so that you can't leave me. Milo. There's nothing left for me. I only exist for you. Nobody else. Only you. Without you, what's the point of living? Why should I even exist? Milo! Your own snap caused Milo to flinch. It was the first time you had ever raised your voice at him. I don't want to leave you. I want to be with you until death do us part. But time is not kind to us. We could drift apart or fight. No, we won't. Then what about those around us? Do you think they won't try to tear us apart? You leaned closer to him, next to his ear. My pet, it's the world around us that wants to take us apart. They're always planning, scheming, watching us fall apart. Don't you see? There's no way to escape it. You lean back, closing your eyes as if contemplating. Well, maybe there's a way. Milo's eyes light up. He leans closer to you. What is it? Whatever it is. I refuse to let them take us. You cocked your head slightly. The final push. The only way for us to stay together forever is... Well, I think, just like with the first set of endings, let's get rid of them first. This world is a cruel place, isn't it, my pet? All this rot that tries to tear us apart. Then there's only one thing for you to do. Destroy them all. When they're all gone, then I will be yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. You weren't sure, but it felt like a haunting red, ready to slaughter them all off. Milo, you understand what I mean, right? I'm sure if it ever comes to that, you'll know what to do. My pet has always been so smart. That's why I will protect you from everyone in this world. If only to make sure you sleep well at night. I would snap every neck just to make it so you sleep soundly through the night. You can't help but smile happily at the results. This next part will be fun. It had taken you a while to track him down properly, but there he was, in your line of sight. You walked up to him quietly. Ryan. He flinched at your voice and started to back away. What do you want from me? We're done. Done, you hear me? I've already sent transfers to another college, so... Aw, Ryan, what are you so afraid of? That Milo might come after you? His face was full of nothing but rage towards you. You were the one who forced me to bully him, to do all of those things. What are you talking about, Ryan? I never said that. Or at least you have no proof. Seriously, Cryptid, haven't you done enough already? All this training for Milo? Blaming me for sending all of those goons after you, even though you were the one who did it to yourself? What kind of insane person would do that? Well, you see, us. But then he breaks into my house, threatens me with letters and bricks. I could barely leave my door without fearing for my life. Just leave me alone. I did everything that you asked, right? You smiled slightly and he snapped at you. All of this, it's all your fault. Why those people died, why I'm still in this situation. I wish you would just die. Leave me alone. Please don't make yourself into such a saint. Weren't you the one who wanted to prank all of those people, even though you knew it was dangerous? And who was the one who shifted the blame to others so you wouldn't be jailed? Don't you think it's the least you could do after you cheated on me? Come on, just admit it. You were the one who resigned yourself to this punishment. You have no one to blame but yourself. You refused to break up with me. I didn't want to be with you anymore. He's hyperventilating from the stress. It was a joy to watch him struggle. Just like when you were together with him, it was so entertaining watching him flounder about, watching him cry, watching him beg, forcing him to go through such lengths to get rid of you. When you got bored of him, you tricked him into cheating with someone. He was never your perfect love in the first place. Never would have been. The only hope for failures like that is to crush them to dust. Fine, you win. He stops for a second, not believing what he heard. What? You're right. You did what I asked you. And I promised I would let you go. His eyes tell you he doesn't believe you. Ha! He knows you far too well. Well, after this one thing. I knew there was a catch. You pull out a USB and Ryan's eyes widen with fear. It is the last piece of evidence that proves that you were the one who killed those people. It would be a shame if it went into the wrong hands. Ryan lunged at you, desperately trying to grab the USB from your hands, but you dodged him. Ah, that's the spirit. Give it to me. Give it to me. I will. Pry it from my hands. Fight me if you have to. Take it from me and it's all yours. Without another word, Ryan tackled you to the ground. He tried to swipe at the USB over and over again. You struggled to move with his weight on you. He took the USB with ease. Finally! Silence filled the air all of the sudden. Milo's hand gripped onto Ryan's face as he looked up, gripping tighter and tighter. Oh, that's nasty. Ryan's muffled panic and then screams as you hear the sound of cracking. Muffled screaming, the frantic clawing of Milo's hand. You think to yourself that he will break his skull, but he suddenly lets go of him, causing Ryan to stumble backwards and fall. Before Milo crushes the USB and his hand with it. Slowly, he comes to you and hugs you. Ah, my pet. Did he hurt you? His words were kind, but his tone, it was as if he were going to crush you in anger as well. Don't worry, I will never let this happen again. I won't let those dirty monsters touch you. I will get rid of them all. I will protect you. His voice sounded as if he had made an oath, a promise that chained the two of you together. He lets go, and all you can see is the red in his eyes. You never saw Ryan again. They had found his body fallen at the end of a cliff. It seemed that he had went hiking with some of his friends at night and never came back. You remembered that night that Milo wasn't there to watch you sleep. When you saw him the next day, the faint smell of metal came off of him, and slowly, just as it were, accidents became more frequent around your college. 2 people in your class that had accidentally stepped on your shoe were found dead in a car accident only weeks later. The professor that had given you a hard time and almost failed you was found at the wrong end of town with his body torn up and his bones broken. Anyone that crossed you would suddenly be dead only moments later. And at night, you would find Milo drenched in red, sitting, watching you, the blood on his face shining from the lights outside. These coincidences, these accidents, it became obvious that they were anything but. And slowly the college became paranoid of who would be the next victim. The Blood Eye Killer, they called him, with etchings of the eye drawn in red marker. The eyes that watched you every night. The eyes of the person who protected you. The police came to gather, questioning the students around them, desperate to find the killer. When they had questioned you, though, it's quite frightening. I was working on a project with the first victim a while ago, though I did hear that he had pissed off a lot of people. I didn't think it would end like this. Is there someone that I find could be the killer? Why would I think of something like that? No one comes to mind that I can think of. Really, there's nothing to worry about. Whatever was left of the quiet, shy Milo was made into a killer to protect you. He would do anything to protect you, anything to make you safe. All those bodies were simply collateral, disposable things to create the love you deserved. Truly, this was the perfect love you wanted all along. A perfect killer end. Oh boy. Alrighty, now we're gonna have Milo protect us. No matter what, the world will always find a way to take us apart. It's cruel, isn't it? And the solution is simple. Just make sure I can't be taken away. Make it so I'm yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. It felt as if you would simply freeze in place, looking at him. As if he would do anything to make you his. I think you know what I'm talking about. Right, Milo? Of course. Why didn't I think of that? You were always mine to begin with. How could I ever take my eyes off of you? Even during the darkest times. You nearly laughed at the results that you had produced. You couldn't wait until he broke. And I promised I would let you go. His eyes tell you he doesn't believe you. You should not. You should run away. Ryan lunged at you, desperately trying to grab the USB from your hands, but you dodged him. It seemed that while Ryan pinned you down, you had ended up bruising something on your body. You let out a loud, pained noise as you stood up. Ryan didn't seem to notice at all as he held the USB in his hand. And he didn't notice Milo coming up to him, hovering and staring. He nearly squealed as Milo grabbed his wrist and broke his arm with ease. Ryan let out a pained gasp as he instinctively dropped the USB, which Milo crushed under his foot. Perhaps I break your other arm, too. Or maybe snap your neck instead. My pet. Upon hearing you call out to him, he immediately dropped Ryan and came by your side. Okay. Oh, there we go. Cryptid. Are you alright? What happened? Did he hurt you? Growling, he stood up and tried to look for Ryan, but he was nowhere to be seen. That coward. I'm going to twist his neck and... Milo tried to chase after him, but you grabbed his arm. Milo, please don't go. His rage turned to worry as he held you. I should have been there. I should have protected you from him. I should have. It's okay, my pet. What I need right now isn't a guard dog, but someone who will care for me. Milo was stunned for a second and nodded. He lifts you up gently and carries you back to your dorm. While he walks, he is silent, looking at you over and over again. His eyes were cold, but his resolve was steady. What was he thinking, you wondered? For a while, Milo took care of you. He stayed in your dorm, cooked for you, cleaned for you. He never left your side as you lay there in bed. At night, he would watch over you as well, his cold eyes staring at you. He would always be muttering something in guilt. How could I let my boyfriend get hurt like that? The world is far too dangerous for him. He won't survive. Oh no, we're too dangerous for the world. But you've been brainwashed. And how could I live without them? My pet, I won't fail you again. Cryptid, cryptid, cryptid. It wasn't long until you had gotten better. You could sit upright again, without any pain. Ah, you really are such a wonderful house husband, my pet. I'm completely back to full health. Yeah. You decided to head out for your next classes, but Milo stopped you before you could go out the door. What are you doing, my pet? I won't let you go out there anymore. Strange, didn't I say I was at... I won't fail again, my pet. I swear on my life. So I thought about it. Oh! He's gonna hurt us. He drags a bat from behind his back and walks towards you slowly. What's the best way to protect you, to make sure you can never be hurt again? I thought about it again and again, and I can't. There's no way to protect you. He looms over you as you back away from him instinctively. So I have to come to a compromise. I will take care of you forever. Even if it means I have to hurt you to do so. Before you could even turn around, Milo swung his bat at your legs. You could feel your bones snap as he did, and you screamed, falling to the floor. I'm sorry, my pet. He hit you again, and again. Whoa! You could feel your bones shattering as you coughed up blood. I don't want to hurt you, but there's no other way. For a second, he stopped. You heaved heavily, finally forcing air into your lungs as your body ached in pain. You were able to look up at Milo as he stared down at you, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, my pet. He closed his eyes and it was dark. From then on, you never left your dorm. Not as if you could have anyways. You were always in bed, and often it hurt to move. Milo would cry out next to you, apologizing over and over again for what he did. He took care of you, all of your needs, anything you wanted, he would get for you. And when you got better again, he would break you while crying again. A vicious cycle over and over again. He held your hand as he sobbed loudly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even if you hate me, I can't. You lifted your hand. Milo flinched as if expecting you would hit him. But instead, you caressed his face, and after shock, he kissed your hand. You're doing wonderfully, Milo. I couldn't have asked for a better boyfriend. Even if it hurt to move, you were content. The shape you had molded him into. How wondrous. It was exactly the perfect love that you always wanted. And that's all you wanted. A perfect house husband. End. Alright, let's now drug Ryan back. He ain't a great person, but I'm starting to feel like he really doesn't deserve this. Drug him back. Wouldn't it be fun to give him a taste of his own medicine? Drugging him. I'd rather just break his legs. Oh, my pet. That does sound like fun. But sometimes it's good to be a little more smart about it. Just think of it as a study date. It'll be fun learning how to drug people. Study date? You can feel his hand warming up as he considers the date. Well then, shall we have fun on our date? Let's get going then. Despite feeling the effects, you refuse to show weakness and stand up. You think of Ryan's face in agony and smile as Milo follows you out of the dorm. You walk with Milo to a seemingly quiet part of the campus. Unlocking an abandoned lab, Milo trails in behind you. My pet is very clever. I didn't even know you could have access to this lab. One of the professors here is very kind. They saw my interest in chemistry and let me use this lab. As if that were true, you had swiped it off of another student while they weren't looking and made a copy. He hugged into you suddenly, startling you. My boyfriend, you really are amazing. Even after being attacked day after day, you're so strong. It's only because of you, my pet, that I was able to stay strong. Waltzing into the lab, the beakers and other glass tubes stood watching us. Well then, let's get started. You think back to what it felt like when you were drugged. Dizziness, a bit of drowsiness. The way he did it so fast and the fact that you couldn't see it in the water. Looks like that bastard learned from before and actually made the proper dosage of GHB. So this is what he drugged you with. He picks up a chair and throws it at the ground, bouncing and marking the wall. I won't let him get away with this. You wanted to stop him, but you suddenly felt dizzy and held on to him. My pet, are you okay? It seems the drugs still have a bit of a side effect to them. You held yourself steady as Milo gently helped you stand. You should rest. No, I have to stop Ryan from doing this again. Here, take this first. You hand him some safety glasses, which he fumbles with awkwardly. I feel stupid. Really, I think you look quite nice. You wink at him, causing him to get flustered. Let's get started. GHB is probably the most common one. We have the ingredients already. Luckily, you had experience with it before and knew what to do. With the materials here, it seemed that it would be rather easy to make. I've always wanted to make chloroform as well, though it might not be that good in this situation. Can't we just kidnap him with it? Knock him out like, bam? Sure, if it were in a movie. In reality, it'd probably just kill him. And that's a problem. Why? You're such a jester, Milo. Sadly, I still need him for the project. He huffs in annoyance at your answer, but plays it cool. Maybe for fun, I'll show you how to make it in a bit. You pull out a silicone packet you had taken from the seaweed you had eaten earlier. I'll have to check if it's enough, but ketamine is fun to make as well. And as for this, you pull out another packet from your pocket. Seems like it's pretty easy to get Rohypnol if you can pretend you need it for anxiety. My pet is so smart. I didn't even know you had such interest. Well, I've always been curious about these kinds of things. But unfortunately, Ryan did use them against me. Milo growls a bit as you mention him. But now I'll be using this knowledge against him. You reap what you sow, after all. You stretch out, prepared to teach Milo the ropes. Shall we? For a couple of days, you and Milo would sneak inside of the labs. You had to be careful to clean up afterwards, but considering how secluded this lab was, nobody ever came in. Milo, as usual, was a fast learner. He picked up everything naturally. At the same time, you and Ryan finished your project together. You had convinced Ryan to have a drink once the both of you had finished. A perfect opportunity. How surprising. I guess since we're almost done, he wants to celebrate early. I'll be a bit more careful this time, and you hold out some white powder to show to Milo. Get a bit of vengeance too then, Well, Milo, are you coming with? I'll need backup in case something goes wrong while we're talking. He puts his fists together as if he's ready to punch someone. Of course, I'll always be by your side, my pet. And if anything happens, I won't hesitate to kill him. His voice was sharp and dangerous, as if you were sliding your finger against the blade of a knife. You didn't think you could say anything to convince him to hold back. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that then. Though you couldn't lie. You were curious to see what he would have done if you hadn't stopped him. We arrived at the bar that Ryan had invited us to. Hey, it's... His fake smile dropped as he saw that Milo had joined you. You two. You looked at him condescendingly. Sorry, did you not think I would bring him? I thought it would just be us two, you know, 'cause we actually worked on the project. Well, sorry about that. You smiled in a fake manner, and he glares at Milo. And Milo glares back. Ryan looks away, as if annoyed. Ryan droops down closer to you and whispers, Cryptid, don't you think this is too much? I mean, all this, For him? I'm not sure I like what you're trying to say, Ryan. Ryan feels Milo staring at him from behind. Never mind, when have you ever listened to me anyways? It'll end up badly, you know? Thanks for the warning. But I know what I'm doing. He turns to the bartender to call for our drinks. Ah, how nostalgic. It seems you still remember my favorite. Well, yeah, I'm not a monster. The barkeep taps our drinks onto the counter and we cheer to finishing our project. To us, and another year of our professors torturing us. He puts the glass to his lips. You grab the edge of the glass before he can drink. Hey, what gives? I just wanted to add a bit of flavor. You pull out a small bag and dump it into his drink, not breaking eye contact. Oh, that's messed up. What the hell? Did you just drug my drink in front of me? Yep. Go ahead. Drink it. Hell no, you must be crazy to think I'd drink that. There's no way. Barkeep, That's cute. You make it sound like you have a choice. You grab his hand tightly and stare into his eyes. Drink it. What? I know what you did, Ryan. Did you think I'm that naive? Come on, it's only fair. You're crazy. Am I, Ryan? Weren't you the one who did it first? He shrinks away from you and tries to leave, but Milo stops him. And where do you think you're going? Ryan looks back at you and then at him. I don't know, Ryan. You could leave now, but would you really want to? You push the drink in front of him. To our project. May we have another good semester. Shaking, he picks up his drink and drinks it. His eyes darting, he tries to run off, but Milo stands in his way. Milo stands in his way. Where do you think you're going? Out of the way. Milo lunges for him, but Ryan is able to dodge. He runs at you, shoving you to the floor with a thud. Eyes wide, Milo runs to you as Ryan gets away. My pet! He holds on to you carefully and cradles you, before glaring in the direction that Ryan ran off to. I'm going to... He tries to lunge for him, but you grab onto his arm. Bad boy. He hesitates. But... Don't worry. He's learned his lesson. It would be suspicious if we got rid of him now. And anyways, I doubt he'll ever mess with you again. Come now, Milo. Let me buy you a drink. You did such a good job. Dragging his attention away from Ryan, you meet Milo's gaze. You just wanted him to look at you. And only you. And so college life went on as normal. Whenever you saw Ryan, he would hurriedly walk towards the opposite direction. And Milo started to take up cooking. Strangely enough, he had always said he would make a good house husband. He would proudly give you his food and let you taste it. I want to be able to cook for you when we get married, he would say, blushing. Every dish he made was more delicious than the last, but you started to realize. Ah, where are you going? Don't you remember you have classes today? Huh? Lunch? What are you talking about? It's almost dinner. Are you doing okay? Let me take you back to your dorm. You've been feeling a bit off lately. That your memory was deteriorating. Something he must have done. He was using your lessons well, wasn't he? And while Milo was concerned over you, you could feel him smiling at the results. A protective dog looking after his master, and you couldn't be happier. And so, for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. Weirdly enough, Milo seemed to cook for you less and less. The strange fog that you had gotten before was slowly lifting, and it was infuriating to you. More affectionate, hugging and clinging to you, as if he was resisting it, as if he was stopping himself. How sweet, how cute, how lovely, how kind. How weak, how pathetic, how insufferable, how disgusting. So close to creating the perfect love, and yet he was backing out? It seemed to you, despite how much he had changed, the old meek Milo was still holding himself back. How sad, it seems you haven't pushed him enough. You had to break him. Well then, there was only one thing to do. Push him to the brink. Just one final push. I'm gonna skip this because I think the dialogue will be the same. Just one more push. No, no! I won't let you. You're mine. My one and only boyfriend. After all those times I protected you, after all I've done, you're just going to throw me away? Like trash? Like junk? You and I promised we would be together. If it's not with you, Alright. I knew it. I should have put a higher dosage. Wouldn't you just rely on only me then? So I could always take care of you? So I would be your entire world? Milo. There's nothing left for me. I only exist for you. Nobody else. Only you. Without you, what's the point of living? Milo. You leaned closer to him, next to his ear. My pet, it's the world around us that wants to take us apart. There's no way to escape it. Well, maybe there is a way. What is it? Whatever it is. I refuse to let them take us. The final push. The only way for us to stay together forever is get rid of them first. This world is a cruel place, isn't it, my pet? Destroy them all. When they're all gone, then I will be yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. You weren't sure, but it felt like a haunting red. Ready to slaughter them all off. Milo, you understand what I mean, right? I'm sure if it ever comes to that, you'll know what to do. My pet has always been so smart. That's why I will protect you from everyone in this world. I'll make sure everyone has an eternal sleep. And break their ribs so they never wake up again. You can't help but smile happily at the results. My, this next part will be fun. Ryan lunged at you, desperately trying to grab the USB from your hands, but you dodged him. Give it to me. Give it to me. Without another word, Ryan tackled you to the ground. He tried to swipe at the USB over and over again. He took the USB with ease. Ha ha! Finally! Finally! Before he could make another move, Ryan was lifted into the air by his neck. His choked out breathing clawing as he tried to get Milo's hands off of him. The USB dropped to the floor with a clatter, and Milo stepped on it, shattering it instantly. Ah, and what do we have here? Milo's grip tightened as tears grew in Ryan's eyes. I didn't know we had a rat problem. He turned to you, wanting to know if he could kill him right then and there. But you shook your head simply. It would be a mess if we don't have anything to clean up with. With a grimace and a growl, Milo threw Ryan down onto the floor with a thud. Milo kicked his stomach, causing the wind to be knocked out of Ryan. If I see you near my boyfriend ever again, I will finish the job. Coughing and sputtering, Ryan crawled away to safety, crying as he did. He turned to you, clearly filled with rage. How dare that scum touch you after all that he did to you? And you even let him go. You really are too kind, my pet. You let out a sad sigh as Milo glared in Ryan's direction. Who knows what he might do next, though? I'm still afraid he might target me again. Oh, we're so horrible. Milo hugged you suddenly again, caressing your back. Don't worry, my pet. You were right. This world is so dangerous and filled with horrid people. But don't worry. He let go for a second, looking into your eyes. I will never let them touch you, because you are mine, and mine alone. As his eyes looked into yours, it felt as if you could feel the heat from his burning red eyes. For a while, you wondered about the whereabouts of Ryan. He seemed to have disappeared suddenly and without a trace. Milo, in the meantime, seemed to have taken up his love for cooking again. He had promised you an exciting meal for your two's anniversary together. I promise that it will be something special, my pet. Something that you will never forget. It was strange, though. You had never seen him so excited before. You wondered what he had in store for you. Despite you trying to look around, it seemed Milo was determined to keep it a surprise. And so you waited. Then, on your anniversary, you found him inside of your dorm. How strange, you thought. You never gave him a copy of your key. Well, that doesn't change anything. Milo is capable of a lot. With his apron and a candle lit for lighting, he eagerly waited for you to sit down. I'm sorry it took so long. It was hard to find the ingredients for this recipe. I hope you enjoy it. He said it normally, as if nothing was strange, but his eyes were still filled with red, as if he were waiting for something. As you both sat down, you looked at the soup that lay before you. It was red and thick, and the smell was something indescribable. Dipping a spoon into the pot, he gestured for you to open your mouth, and fed you as it went on. Ah, this is really tasty, my pet. You would make a great house husband. His face reddened at that compliment, and he looked away shyly. I was afraid that you might not like it, but I shouldn't have been. After all, you're perfect. I could make more if you like, though maybe not this specific dish. And why is that, my pet? It has a very rare ingredient in it. I don't think I could get it again. He looked at you with enthusiasm. But don't worry, I can make you plenty of other dishes, just as amazing as the next. As he smiled, you saw something move inside the soup. It looked at you as if it were afraid. It took you a second, but you recognized the color of it. Ryan's eye. And another inside of the spoon that Milo was trying to feed you. A pause. Milo seems to shrink away for a second. Sorry is something. No, Milo. Nothing's wrong. You couldn't help but smile as you took a bite. Of course, I have no doubt, my pet. I can't wait until you cook your next rare meal. How tasty. You really have finally made it. Such a wonderful flavor he was. Your perfect love. A cannibal's love. And well, at least our main character enjoyed that, I guess. Let's get the next one. Well, okay then. What happens if we have Violence Milo protect us? No matter what, the world will always find a way to tear us apart. Just make sure I can't be taken again. Make it so I'm yours. And just like that. Milo's eyes had changed. I think you know what I'm talking about. Right, Milo? Sometimes those kinds of things simply can't be helped. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? You were always mine to begin with. I should have just taken you earlier to somewhere where no one else can find you. You nearly laughed at the results that you had produced. All right, following Ryan again. Seriously, Cryptid, haven't you done enough already? All this training for Milo? Blaming me for sending all of those goons after you, even though you were the one who did it yourself? Forcing me to drug you, then making me drink that with Milo there. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Without another word, Ryan tackled you to the ground. He tried to swipe at the USB over and over again. He took the USB with ease. Something loomed over Ryan as he laughed. You could feel Ryan shudder as he felt a presence behind him. The air was heavy and thick, as if every breath were steeped in poison. Milo's eyes weren't one of a human's anymore, as if it were something far more sinister. Ryan opened his mouth as if to come up with some excuse, but before he could say anything, Milo pulled out his bat. And without another word, he swung it towards his legs, and the sound of bones splintering filled the air. There was a blood-curdling scream as he grabbed his leg in agony. The sound of howling pain echoed in the air. Ah, how unfortunate for you. You notice out of the corner of your eye a shadow of people coming to see the commotion. We have to go, Milo. They're going to find us. Milo turned to the shaking Ryan, grabbing his collar. "If you tell anyone else about this, your skull will be the next baseball for me to hit." Throwing him onto the ground, you and Milo made your escape. After escaping from the scene, you felt Milo's gaze burning through you. I think we're far enough away." You grabbed at Milo's arm, but he only stared at you, unmovingly. "Why were you talking to him, my pet?" It was nothing important. At least, not anymore. "Did you like him?" It was a simple question that made you stand on end. The way you were looking at him, watching him, that's what it was, wasn't it? He growled viciously, as if imagining tearing off his head. It doesn't matter. You belong to me now. You will never go back to him. I'll make sure of it. The blue in his eyes left you speechless, as if frozen by his words, and yet, somehow, you felt happy beyond belief. Just as he had said, Ryan seemed to have transferred schools. However, it didn't seem like Milo had let go of his anger towards him, and towards you. Yet still, he took care of you, and he was always by your side. It was strange when he suddenly took up cooking again. He would often mutter to himself as you did your projects, and you watched him cook. You had hoped that he would be planning something exciting for you. And so he did. One seemingly normal afternoon, he gave you some cookies that he had baked earlier that day. I hope you like it. He looked at you tentatively as you ate them without thought. You should have been more careful. It felt hard to breathe when you woke up. Coughing and sputtering, you were bound to a chair as the ropes rubbed against you. You felt pain and soreness everywhere, as if someone had knocked you out and kicked you as you slept. Though it was dark, your eyes were slowly adjusting. As you saw two eyes looking back at you. My pet. You managed to say. You felt oddly dazed and tried to go closer to him, but you couldn't feel your legs. Sunlight came through the sides of the building, and you finally saw his face. His eyes blue and cold, but his face slashed in blood. I hope you had a nice sleep. His voice was surprisingly gentle, but it still had a hint of stiffness to it, as if his voice hadn't spoken for a while. I really did want to do it more gently, but as it turns out, I still messed up on cutting your tendon. So I just took the whole thing. His smile was wide and unnerving as he seemed so happy about what he had done. I'm not as good as Ryan. I know I will never be, but that's okay. You will always be mine now. You can't run anymore. It took you a while to realize what he meant. Ah, of course. The red that was slathered on his face. The choice of words. You looked down. You couldn't touch the floor anymore. Your legs were gone. What was left of them were sewn up as if you were a doll. Your legs were gone. You started to breathe heavily. Everything felt as if it were crashing. Don't move yet. You're going to... And then you started laughing. So happy. So brilliantly happy. Milo looked surprised, not knowing what to say. Beautiful. Beautiful. You've done well, Milo. You couldn't stop laughing. You couldn't stop smiling. A never-ending echo of pure happiness, of full insanity. This is just what I wanted, Milo. Finally, you've truly done it. You're perfect. The laughter, the final end goal fulfilled. Oh, you couldn't have been happier. Insanity, disgust, maybe, others might say, but you couldn't care less. To you, this was, without a doubt, your perfect love. A kidnapper's love ending. There is technically one more ending with 2 variants. I may make that its own video. So with that being said, I kind of prefer Violence Milo. He is much more brute force than manipulation, and in a way that is a little less scary. Not by much, but you know. Anyhow, that was just as twisted as the manipulation route, and I very much enjoyed it. So if you made it this far, thank you all for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more of me but you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. I'm still uploading twice a week at the moment, but I fully intend to start uploading 3 times a week again soon, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.